Hello, I'm Jesse McAnally.
And I'm Andrew DeWolf.
And I'm Brianna Jones.
And welcome to Musicals with Cheese, a podcast where I try to get Andrew and Brie to like musical theater. And today we've got an extra special returning guest for their fifth time around, which means they get the cheese.
They get the cheese?
Please welcome actress, podcaster, and all-around awesome human and a staple of Musicals with Cheese. It's Grace Aki, bitches!
This means I'm part of the Five Timers Club.
You are. Yes. You are joining
Yeah.
an elusive group. I think only Brent Black, Ethan from Sideways, and Adam Wachter are in there. You are the fourth member of the Five Timers Club.
That's a really hot group of people, by the way. Like, that's a really solid group. Like, I actually feel really good about that, so thank you.
Honestly.
And you get the cheese.
Yeah,
you get the cheese.
Yes, which might come in the form of me buying you dinner in New York. It might come in that form.
It will still incorporate cheese.
Oh, hell
You
yeah, we
have to
can't
get
not.
cheese in there.
We will.
There's actually, I will say this, just because, there's actually a cheese house on 53rd Street, perhaps, like right off of the MCC Theater. Maybe it's 52nd. It's called Quesula, I think, and literally just took a friend there when we were on our way to see Which Way to the Stage at MCC, and you can just order individual cheeses, just the cheese. So
that sounds really good.
Just saying, it's very cool.
Grace, I will 100% take you there if you get a free
Where is
moment.
this? Is in New York City?
Yeah,
this is in New York City. Yeah, right off of Broadway.
Yeah. Either way, Grace, we will take you there when we go to New York if you have the time, of course. If not, you will get sent something nice. I know how busy you are.
What, me? Yeah, me, yeah.
Grace, what are we talking about today?
What aren't we talking about today? We're talking about one of the most formidable creatures in the entire cartoon zeitgeist, if you will. We are talking about Winnie the freaking Pooh. And when you asked me to partake in this conversation, I thought, there is no other show I would like to be talking about right now because they did just announce that they are returning to New York City. And I think this is the perfect opportunity to talk about. And it's also their, what is it, this biennial? I don't remember the right phrasing, but it's like just entered the public domain because of the cartoon. So I think there's a lot of history here. I will talk about it because you have asked me to talk, and I'm thrilled. So it's the Winnie the Pooh musical.
Heck yeah. Cue the music, Brie.
Gotta get up, I gotta get going, I'm gonna see a friend of mine. He's round and he's fuzzy, I love him because he's just Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear, looking for fun, chasing some honeybees.
Winnie the Pooh, the new musical adaptation, which is its official title, is a musical written by Jonathan Rockefeller with music and lyrics by Richard M. Sherman, Robert B. Sherman, and Nate Edmondson, based on A.A. Milne's Winnie the Pooh stories. Previews occurred at the Theater Row building on Theater Row in New York City from October 21st until its world premiere on November 4th, 2021. Jonathan Rockefeller adapted the characters while utilizing several pieces of music and lyrics from the Sherman Brothers, the plot of which is inspired by the books by A.A. Milne and their Disney animated adaptations. The family-friendly show brings together Pooh, Christopher Robin, and their best friend piglets, Eeyore, Kanga, Roo, Rabbit, Owl, and Tigger too. And that's it. That's what we got.
You nailed it. That was a commercial.
Yeah.
I was a little upset they didn't include Gopher in there.
Gopher,
my
I think,
favorite,
was an addition by Disney.
Original. Yes, it's a Disney original character, but all of the songs and everything are from the Disney adaptations.
Well, it's because they couldn't probably get under the set to have him digging, because that was his whole bit, was the digging. And I'm I'm sorry, but this is still COVID times. Like, we're not getting under the stage. We're just not doing it. So they might have had to omit the character.
Speaking of which, Grace, you saw this live on stage in person in New York. What was that experience like?
Not only did I see this live, I saw the very first preview, which was the most magical thing. So the night before, I don't want to exactly tell you what I was doing, but I was having a good time. And it was late at night, and someone messaged me and said, hey, if you want the last seat, it's yours at the preview that happens tomorrow at 10 a.m. Again, I'm a little intoxicated. And I'm thinking like it's 11 o'clock. What you said, October, right?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I could definitely make that. And so I got like on the bus to go home. I felt like I turned right around and got back on the bus to go and walk to Theater Row, which is right on 42nd Street. So it's right off Port Authority where it was like being at a Beatles concert for toddlers. Like
a Wiggles
walked in-
concert.
Yeah, it was a Wiggle. I've been to the Wiggles tour. Fruit salad, yummy, yummy. And
Yep.
I walked in and they didn't. So this was the part that freaked me out. My special ticket was for like Dead Center Orchestra. Orchestra is like, it's all orchestra. But I was excited to get like the characters because they had created this gorgeous merchandising for the show. I don't know if you've seen them, but it's really sweet plush animals. And then the book. Oh shoot, it's actually right next to me. I should go grab it when we're recording. But they had like a program book. Like you spent like $30 on the program because it was this gorgeous hard like red book. And I'm like, of course I'm gonna buy this. What are you, stupid? And the plush toys that all the kids were waiting in line for had not yet arrived. It was the first preview. And the kids are literally like, we're here for the toys. And I'm like, you should be here for a musical, but okay. Because all of their tickets had been coupled with the prize of also getting these plush animals. And I was like, oh man, y'all.
Why would you promise that if you weren't going to get the toys?
I think it was like a supply chain issue, and I felt so bad for them because they were like, so I like went and walked around. And they had these gorgeous little displays about the original books, and then like the characters, and it was just really lovely. It felt very Disney, and I go in and proceeded to watch this incredibly magical piece of theater. I mean, I was crying at the end of it. I don't know if that's like me being vulnerable, but like, I think it was just, I love experiencing children experience theater. And I was sitting with a girl, Ellie McLemore. Have you ever done Heathers on the show, perhaps?
Yes.
Okay, so Ellie was one of the Heathers, and she's really, really mousy, to put it plainly. And she actually has an obsession with Winnie the Pooh, so much that like her dad dressed up as Winnie the Pooh at her engagement. Like that's the level of like intense Winnie the Pooh-dom. So like her engagement to her now husband. Like it was a whole thing.
What was the husband dressed as?
Him. So.
He didn't put the work in. Either way, continue.
Yeah. I mean, he's doing the work. I think they're in Italy. But so
is he dressed as Winnie the Pooh in Italy though?
No, the dad dressed as Winnie the Pooh at the engagement.
Yeah, but he should have met the theme and dressed as Eeyore or some shit.
Nobody wants to dress as Eeyore.
I think she had a Winnie the Pooh themed like bachelorette party or something. Like there's like a photo of her in like a little red crop top. It's like really intense, but she was crying. She was crying. And I'm over here crying. Oh, that's right. The night before we'd seen Moulin Rouge. Wow. Anyways, it was
got intoxicated
nuts.
at Moulin Rouge.
It's a party, and
that's what you would do at Moulin Rouge. I mean,
Moulin Rouge is enough. Seeing Moulin Rouge is feeling enough like you're intoxicated.
You might as well get drunk then.
Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing seat, and I was watching Ashley Lauren, who's now taken over the role as Satine, and she was amazing. But it was a sea of children, is my point, and their parents, who really wanted to take their kid to see something at 10. I can't stress it enough. 10 a.m. These actors had to be there, at like 8:45 to get like prepped and ready. And this is the first time they'd done it in front of an audience because COVID times.
Yeah.
And that's what made it even more magical. So I don't know how you experience it, what we're going to talk about now, but seeing it in the space, like really, really close to these incredible puppet performers, I can't stress enough how good and dedicated. And so like the second Winnie the Pooh came out, I was like, this is Elvis. Like, I'm not even kidding. He was just like perfect. Like his voice, Jake Bazel, he's just, I'm such a fan. Mm-hmm. That's my experience so far.
That is a beautiful story. Andrew, what did you think of the musical?
Tear me down.
I honestly can't, because I like Winnie the Pooh as well.
Yeah.
I used to watch it a lot when I was a little kid, and I recognized, I think, every song, at least all of the ones that weren't new, and I think maybe all of them weren't new.
Yeah, the Sherman Brothers, it was their classic songs. Like, if you've seen any of the movies or the cartoons, you were like, oh, I've heard that.
Yeah, so I recognized, like, all of them. The puppets were pretty fun, except for the creepy thing going on where they got their hands in the back of Pooh's head, which, you know...
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I get it, but, you know, maybe don't have him turn around on stage, because then all the kids will see Pooh's head has got a big hole in it.
Yeah. Oh no, they see it's a puppet.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kids don't know what puppets are. The kids think they're real. And that it was a little weird that they couldn't jump in the song about jumping, because they
bouncing.
can't.
Fuck you.
They
It's
can't
bouncing.
jump.
The weight is insane
Yeah.
on these puppets. Like you literally just said. So my partner plays Olaf in the Frozen tour, and the way that the puppet is connected to them, the kids literally. I've heard a child say, like at a stage door or whatever, they said, "Oh, are you Olaf's friend?" Because they think like Olaf just has this dude hanging out behind him like the whole time. They don't realize that it's the same person.
The kids think the puppets are real. They don't understand. That's why you can't have a big hole in Pooh's head.
and that's why you can't have a hole in Pooh's head.
Tell that to the horror remake of Winnie the Pooh, now heading to Shudder.
Very blustery day in that cranium, for sure.
Yeah, why is there a horror remake of Winnie the Pooh? Oh my god. No, I think it was fine. It probably helps that it's only like an hour long or something, but I didn't dislike it. I thought it was fine.
Grace, I'm curious, what is your history with Winnie the Pooh, since Andrew gave a nice little context for his?
I think just like anybody having the books as a young person, because like I love illustrating. I loved drawing those illustrations that are present in those. What is it from the 20s? This book from the what?
It sounds about
or
right.
Something? Yeah. But so much so that this is so aggressive. When my younger sibling was born, Rowdy, that's their real name. Grace and Rowdy. My mom was but when Rowdy was born, she wanted the whole nursery to be emblematic of the Winnie the Pooh books. And so I think I must have been like 8 years old. I drew, based on the original story pattern, little murals on the wall of Winnie the Pooh and the little blue balloon. And then she went to, this is so illegal, she went to an Office Depot and had them reprint parts of the book so large that she made her own murals, because we couldn't afford to have a mural done.
Right.
But she just basically had poster-sized reprints of scenic parts of the book for near the crib nursery thing. And so I just have this image of my little sibling coming home, being in this little thing, and me drawing the Winnie the Pooh on the wall. And it's just such a special. And then of course, the TV shows were so popular when we were young. Little cartoon. My mom was a big Eeyore fan. Generational trauma. She's an Asian woman. I don't want to get into it, but that makes sense. That tracks. We all kind of had our own. I don't know if you all have identified with one character or another.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that later.
Okay,
don't worry.
Cool. Well, then I'll put a pin in it. But that was definitely something that was present in my household.
So, Grace, I think you and I are roughly the same age. I don't know. I don't presume to know anything
I'm 42,
about anyone.
but probably closer in age than you think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about right. But it was a big deal. The Winnie the Pooh kind of never disappeared from the cultural zeitgeist ever. Even today, it is still as relevant as it was when we were a kid. They're not releasing the weird, the Tigger movie or the Heffalump movie or Piglet's Big movie every other week, the way that they were when the early 2000s happened.
But the Heffalump movie was good. Okay.
That one slapped because the songs were messed up and hot. The Heffalumps and Woozles, I'm sorry, but I want to party with them. That's
a good one.
Yeah, they're good.
That one's I don't know about the Tigger movie,
The
though.
Tigger movie, I like because the Sherman Brothers came back and wrote songs for it, and some of those songs ended up into this musical. And I think that movie plays on the pathos. The TV show, have either of you watched the TV show of The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh as an adult?
Oh yeah, 100%. What?
I like how they threw away the 100 Acre Wood side of it and just 90s kid, Christopher Robin, a 90s kid. They're going to the movies and stuff, and he's just bringing Pooh along.
I just like the theme song.
Yeah,
the theme song is
Gotta get up. You gotta get moving.
It's gonna be the
see. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yes.
That's it.
Grace.
Because it's Pooh Bear, Winnie the Pooh Bear. Wherever you go, fly in a honey tree. Wow, I can't believe
It's so good.
that.
It's so good.
Okay, we need a petition. GoFundMe. Grace does a fully produced cover of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh
But it's
theme song.
acoustic and Phoebe Bridgers style, and I'm very emotional.
Get Ellery Ward on it. She'll help you. She'll do the vocalization. That would be a great two-hand cover. Come on.
Disney theme songs in that era were so good.
Mm-hmm.
The Goof Troop theme. Ooh.
I was just talking about Darkwing Duck.
Yes, that song.
Darkwing
Oh, that one's
Duck.
good too. That one's
So
great.
good.
And sadly,
Tailspin.
what do we get a fucking movie of? Chippendale Rescue Rangers? Eat
Oh, but
my
the theme
whole
song for
ass.
that one's really good too.
That one's pretty good.
Yeah, but that show, no one remembers that show.
They remember the theme song because
They
I mean, Chippendale.
I like
Bear-
DuckTales too. Do you remember the DuckTales one?
DuckTales, woo! As Doug Walker once said,
As
it was
Doug
the
Walker
most
once said.
catchy theme song of the 90s.
DuckTales woo woo. It really doesn't get better than that.
No, it doesn't.
Don't forget when he said duck tits woohoo when he reviewed Howard the Duck.
Oh.
Grace.
I've seen Howard the Duck. I'm an adult. I'm an adult.
Do you know
I'm
who
allowed
Doug
to watch
Walker
duck
is?
porn if I want to.
No.
Thank God. You are living a better
Have
and
you
more
seen the TV show Doug?
What is that? Why do I remember that?
TV show Doug?
Oh, the cartoon? Yeah, I thought you were talking about like a new TV show that like a live action like Chuck. I thought that's what you were referring.
No, it's like Doug Funny.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Either way,
That's Doug Walker.
Andrew, what is the plot of Winnie the Pooh, the new musical adaptation?
Is there a plot?
Yes, there's a very in-depth
For the
plot.
seasons.
Yeah. So it goes through all the seasons, and Winnie the Pooh he wants honey, and Tigger is teaching people how to bounce, and he meets all of his friends, and then it's over. I think they throw a party at the end. I can't quite remember.
He builds a snowman. Snow lady, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean gender.
Well, it's Lady Winter or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Owl found her for them. So
Yeah, exactly. How did you like the puppets, and who do you think was your favorite performer?
That's not a very nice question because I think they were all great.
I do
but this
too.
is what
Yeah,
I'll
I
say.
agree.
I'll say two things. Jake Bazel embodied. There's a dog outside who is.
That's
gonna
Pooh
turn with
right
me.
now.
It's giving Tigger energy.
there's no dogs in Winnie the Pooh, which is fantastic.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just like cats, maybe, but no dogs for sure in that forest.
Maybe a rabbit.
A rabbit,
Maybe a rabbit. Maybe
yes.
there is a rabbit. He's in the show.
Yeah, Rabbit. His name is Rabbit. He's the
Come on,
mom.
Jess.
But I think that Jake had to set the tone of the show for the kids to be
Yes.
like, I believe you. Because as soon as he came out in the most incredible voice, I think that all the kids settled into being like, I'm going to listen. And then everybody else
Yeah.
could have sucked. And they didn't. But
No.
they could have. And then they would have been fine because he delivered.
Mm-hmm.
And then Emmanuel, who came out as, I think, Owl and Eeyore, definitely a great Eeyore. His presence was so good, and I want to shout him out because I was doing a 54 Below show for 54, so it was May 4th, and it's where you sing for 54 seconds. They do it once a year at 54 Below, and I went up right before this really tall dude that I recognized from something, and I did like a cover of "To Make You Feel My Love" by Adele, but I said, "But you can't fuck my butt," and you're welcome. And
I choked. That
he
was great. Thank you.
he literally, we were at sound check, and he was like, "I can't go after you. Like I'm dying. I can't do it." And I'm like, "Yeah, you can. You're adorable." And he went up, and then I was like, "I know where I recognize you from. Did you do Winnie the Pooh live?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You were so good." So he's returning to the cast after because they did it in New York, and then of course they did it in
You
Chicago.
convinced him.
They stayed. I'm like, am I the little seed that got planted being like, people remember me from that? Like, that was a big deal. But he was really fantastic as far as his body and because you can't really do the Eeyore voice is just depression.
Yeah.
And I think he gave it in a way that made kids like not afraid of their sadness, which is really hard to do. So I think that they were both really, really fantastic actors.
Mm-hmm. I will say it was weird. There's certain feelings I don't like to mix together. You know, like I don't like being attracted to Winnie the Pooh. I don't. And the guy that plays Winnie the Pooh is just very, very cute. And so every time,
yes.
Are you talking about Winnie the Pooh's friend, the one that follows him around?
yes, I'm so sorry.
Winnie the
I do
Pooh's
not.
fun. You didn't follow this on Instagram. He literally, there were people that were like Winnie the Twink, like they literally were obsessed
Oh,
with
no.
him. And I was like, guys, you've got to chill. Jake just wants to live in this world. But you're right. He's a strong eyes. This one.
He's a very, very cute man. Good on him. The voice is perfect. Everything is perfect. I want to give plaudits to the actress that plays Piglet and Roo. I think they do a very good job at interpreting those characters in ways that aren't just mimicry. I think that was very impressive because a lot of people do the same voice for Piglet, and I really just like, oh, you're doing your own interpretation. I love it.
Yeah,
and I want to give credit to all the actors across the board. Sometimes you could think like the puppet does the acting for you, but they do the acting themselves as well. Like they are always in it, no matter what the scene is.
I think acting with puppets is probably pretty hard, really. You got to do two things at once.
You're having
You
to...
gotta-
Yeah, sorry. No, go ahead.
No,
No.
I'm just saying you got to act and have the puppet act as well. So
Because
it's like
you
you're
don't-
acting twice.
You don't know who the audience is looking at, and you want them to be looking at your puppet because that's the character. And something, again, I'm sorry to continue to shout this out, but like that's one thing about that I've learned about Olaf is that the actors have to look at Olaf's eyes. So you have no scene partners. So you're acting by yourself in the world, just wishing. I mean, think about it. This character literally says, I want warm hugs and nobody touches them. How sad is that? Like, just, so they're always having to act opposite with these like plastic eyeballs. And I think that because of the company of Winnie the Pooh, them all kind of being the way that the characters were designed, they could all operate on the same levels, and they seem to like enjoy each other's company, like meeting each other in the middle, and then their characters got to meet each other in the middle. So it's a really perfect collaboration of like puppet design and then the thoughtfulness of how that actor is going to have to portray that.
Hell yeah. Now,
He gets it.
I get it.
This guy over here with the hell yeah.
What's his deal?
you know what? I think it's time to compare our opinions to those of the New York Theater Critic when this first came out. It's time for Previews.
It's time for previews. It's time for previews.
And Bree, since I'm putting you on the hot seat for having to give us all our Winnie the Pooh rankings, I want to read this review because this might be the most insane review I have read since our Peter Pan review.
Okay, I have read it, and I'll hand it over to you. Go
Do
ahead.
you agree with me though?
It's a wild one.
I can't wait.
Yes, I ever since we did our Peter Pan review, which is so good that we literally have fan art describing it, it has become a staple of our show. I have been looking for one equally as strange, equally as I don't know where you're going.
We're getting
with it.
more rainbow cardigans in this.
So this is from the New York Times by Alexis Solowski from December 21st, 2021. My birthday, y'all. So here's the review. My God, I thought, perhaps 20 minutes into Winnie the Pooh, the new musical stage adaptation at Theater Row in Manhattan. Why am I here? That bear couldn't even be bothered to put on pants. That is the opening sentence.
Has he
Bruh.
ever read a book? Has this person read? Okay.
You know, at
Opening
least they put on a
sentence.
shirt. It's the Disney version. I mean, they could have been fully naked, right?
I guess, but that's setting the tone for this review. Let's keep going. One of the small private sorrows of last year's lockdown was that I couldn't take my children to the theater, a practice I'd begun when I was still carrying them in baby Bjorns. With vaccinations newly available to the 5 to 11 set, I had just started bringing them back. When I booked our tickets to Winnie the Pooh, the Omicron variant was still mostly an abstract concept, fodder for the late night jokes and Twitter memes. But as we made our way to Times Square this weekend, passing around the block lines at testing sites and crowding into subway car, it felt a lot more real. That is
This has nothing to do with Winnie the
second
Pooh.
paragraph. We took a turn into Omicron.
Really setting the scene, getting paid by the word, if you will.
The New
This
York
is,
Times.
That's their way, right? The reviews are just, oh, I stubbed my toe under the way in the theater. 0 out of 10.
That's the Ben Brantley review method. Like, fuck that guy. The show follows Pooh, the pantless bear of very little brain. We're back to pantless. And his animal friends through the 4 seasons. The seasons, falling leaves, snowflakes, are absolutely the best part. The scruffy, fully sized puppets are manipulated by denim-clad actors in weird voices, doing weird voices. The
You
actors
mean the
can-
Winnie the Pooh voices? The ones from Winnie the Pooh?
I guess. The actors control the puppets by sticking a fist through the backs of their heads, which is somewhat disturbing.
I do
This person
kind of
literally
agree
just said
with
they were
that.
fisted. That's literally what they were trying to say. I can't.
That is in
I do
parentheses.
somewhat agree with the back of the head thing. That one's a little weird.
When it comes to acting, and not nearly enough in terms of story or stakes or the reasons for being, At the performance I attended, Pooh's mic broke and one of Tigger's feet disconnected. In the summer section, Pooh became stuck in the hollow of a tree, which was nice for a while. A toddler behind me happily narrated the goings-on, but one of my children threatened to doze off throughout, and the other kept kicking me with her rain boots, which suggests something less than rapture. All right.
What?
So we're going to take a pause on this review for a second. So I truncate these reviews a little bit because I don't like talking about individual actors. I don't think that helps our show much. But at this point in the review, Miss Alexis Solowski goes on an entire 4-paragraph rant about Emmett Otter, another show that she saw previously, and how much better that one was.
I mean, arguably, Emmett Otter is fantastic. So let's be clear. That's a nice assessment, except for the fact that, like, why are you comparing these things?
Why is
I think
your assessment
she didn't realize she was writing for the New York Times. She thought she was on Musicals with Cheese.
Yes, where we can talk about whatever we want, whenever we want. I'll start off a little bit of that. 2 days before, we had a far more soothing experience at another puppet-driven musical, the New Victory Theater's Jim Henson Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, a stage adaptation of the 1977 television special, based in turn on the all that. So there's a review of Emmett Otter in the middle of this Winnie the Pooh review.
I do like Emmett Otter in the Jug Band, the TV special, so you know,
nothing
that's
against that,
fine.
but time and place. Why are we doing that in the middle of this Winnie the Pooh review? They circle back to Winnie the Pooh a couple paragraphs later. And the day after Winnie the Pooh, we learned that my older child's fully vaccinated teacher had tested positive, which meant that we would need to quarantine and then test. They turned the Winnie the Pooh opening to a fucking super spreader event. So it's possible that we, and not that mom who was leisurely taking maskless selfies at Winnie the Pooh, were the real problem. Togetherness has its price right now. Okay.
Seems like a commentary on like what New York is like as a parent right now. And that's really challenging, but that's not really considerate to the people that put that art together, especially during a pandemic. That's my biggest takeaway, is that I'm like, okay, those all can be valid for your blog spot, but maybe like take a moment to consider the fact that these people just put on a show for your children and it was really lovely. So.
Yes. There is a little summary.
It wasn't as good as Emmett Otter, though. I mean, come on.
Well, they sum it up in the final paragraph. Happily, the New Victory has made Emmett Otter available for streaming, so you can visit Frogtown Hollow without ever leaving your home, which isn't what most of us want, but it may be what a lot of us need. Even a bear of very little brain, or a bear with a brain half broken from risk assessment, knows that. Yeah. That is the wildest New York Times review I've seen in years.
That's a big statement.
Thanks so for was it good?
I think yeah, that's the question. Was it good? I don't think there's been a crazier New York Times review since Ben Brantley reviewed Head Over Heels. I think that is the last one I've had like this. Like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, it seems like they're just really perturbed about what was going on in their life and not really caring about the show.
Yeah, imagine
the show gave them COVID. Let's be real.
Imagine being one of the poor actors in this show and being like, oh boy, the New York Times reviewed us. Let's take...
They did a review, but that's not a review. That's a day in the life influencer post.
Can't wait to see what they think of our show. Oh, they really liked Emmett Otter.
Wow.
Literally I don't know. It bothers me.
They stubbed their toe on the way in. That's too bad. You're getting a negative review.
Do we agree with that review?
No?
No, because it's not a review. I can't even like articulate if it's agreeable or not, because I don't think that they talked about the content.
Maybe Emmett Otter is better. Maybe I agree with that. I haven't seen it, so I mean, maybe. I don't know if that's what a review is for, though. Usually, it's not a comparison between one thing and a different thing.
You know what? Sometimes it is when you're on Musicals with Cheese. But Brie, I think you've had enough time to think about it. What do you think our respective characters are in Winnie the Pooh?
Okay, so Andrew was easy. He's Eeyore. Doesn't like much.
No question.
No question. He's
I'm
Eeyore.
that depressive? Oh my god.
No, it's just your vibe is mellow. And so
Yeah.
you're
Look at
kind of
you.
even keeled. It's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I've never lost my house.
Or your
At least
tail.
not yet.
Yeah.
I don't have a tail, so I guess I did lose it.
Jess, obviously you're Tigger, very boisterous,
Cool.
high energy. And then Grace, I had a hard time picking because
I'm bipolar. I hear that a lot. I have a disorder, so I get it.
no, so I was leaning like Piglet, I feel like I get like really good vibes, big heart from you. But then also I get like main character vibes. So like Pooh Bear.
I respect and hear you, and that is always how I identify. It depends
I
on
was
the
gonna
day.
say Rue though.
Oh, a Rue vibe?
Yeah.
Oh, because I've mommed so many men in my life. I get that.
What you mean,
Well, that's
Kanga?
Kanga.
Oh, okay.
That's Kanga.
Oh, I'm just someone's poor pouch baby. No, thank
yeah.
you. I appreciate
But Tigger
that.
and Rue are best friends, and you and I are best friends, right, Grace?
Yeah.
Are Tigger and Rue best friends? Did that
How
happen?
long is this? No, yeah. Okay, cool. We're good.
What about you, Brie? What would you give yourself?
Oh, I didn't think about me.
Rhea is Piglet.
I do get Piglet vibes from Brie.
I also get Piglet vibes, but I wasn't going to say
You
that.
give Piglet vibes, and then I feel like you also could give Owl vibes in the sense of like you're gathering people, you're thoughtful, like
Sagely advice.
Yeah, I actually think there's parts of you that might give good Owl vibes.
Okay.
I love Owl's advice in the summer section of the show. He just comes in, he's like, oh yeah, Pooh is fucked. I'm out of here. Bye.
The way he like literally just flies in and he's like, deuces. And just leaves. I'm just like, okay.
It's like, Owl, please help us with your advice. And he's like, yeah, he's fucked. Bye.
Grace,
I solved another one.
I'm gonna offer an alternative for Brie, and I think she's Christopher Robin. Makes the order out of chaos.
That's beautiful.
Oh, thank
I
you.
feel like Christopher Robin's kind of all of them at once, you know?
And Brie makes us all sound like human beings instead of the insaney pants people we are.
Insaney pants. I love it.
Speaking of insaney pants people, it's time to dive into the insaney pants people over at letterboxd.com, where we...
Oh boy.
Oh, Grace, you've never been here for one of these.
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
It's a nightmare. It's a
Yes.
living nightmare.
So
I mean, I
it
have
is
a
I'm sorry.
Letterboxd account, but I will listen.
It is Letterboxd 1-star or 5-star, where we are going to read you a review. It is either a 1-star or 5-star review on Letterboxd.com, and you have to guess just based on the content of the review alone. And these are for all the Winnie the Pooh movies. So, are you ready, Grace and Andrew?
Yes.
All right, Grace, whose team do you want to be on? Mine or Bree's?
Oh, Breeze, 100%.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got this.
Bree, you guys go first.
Every guest picks Brie.
Okay.
I don't blame them.
Okay. Well, they know I'm. Never mind. I was going to say they know I cheat, but no, I don't. I don't.
I didn't know.
She does, though, is
I
the thing.
do. I'll be like, okay.
It's like, oh, you're onto something with
And I
that.
refuse to cheat for Andrew.
He beyond refuses. He reads it in ways that make it misleading.
Okay, so the first review is, God damn it, Owl, you illiterate fuck.
I'm going to go with that's a 1.
That is a 5, but we don't really know what that means because that's letterbox.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, good guess. All right, Andrew, you're ready?
Yeah.
When I went to Disney World as a child, my dad spilled syrup on his shirt at a character breakfast, and Eeyore was very nasty to him.
Wait, can I say something to add to that?
Yes.
The only place that you can see the characters that you're talking about is at the Crystal Palace at Magic Kingdom, because I have been to that character breakfast and it's a breakfast brunch.
Did you spill syrup on your dad's shirt?
One time I spilled syrup on my hands because I went to a butterfly exhibit and they all flocked to me and I have a photo of it.
Hell yeah.
Eeyore came over and was like, you stupid fucking idiot. Spilling the fucking syrup. It sounds like a 1-star to me, so.
That is correct.
That is. All right, Grace. Who do you think Eeyore voted for in 2016?
We don't need to talk about that.
Ron Paul.
Harambe.
Harambe. Oh
It's
gosh, I
actually
remember
Gary
that was a thing.
Johnson, I think.
Gary Johnson. I should go back and say I think that's a 1-star as well.
That is a 1-star. We're on the board.
Thank
I also think Eeyore did not vote in 2016.
Eeyore doesn't even believe that his vote matters.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
intended.
that's kind of the thought.
Eeyore intended on voting, but then he got lost in line and he didn't stay in line.
No, Eeyore's just like, why even vote? It's not like it will change anything.
The real problem is the voting system. The Electoral College should be abolished. Like, that's it. That's the vibe.
I won't vote to change it, but... All right, Andrew,
All right.
you ready?
You know, Tigger is a little bit of a, you don't want to have to say that a lot in a show, you know? But I really hope that's not true. 1 star.
That is correct.
That would be a little awkward if that was a 5-star.
Yeah.
All right, Grace.
Okay.
Pooh Bear, and then there's a little colon. Ass fat. Yeah, I know.
Oh, 5. That's a 5-star.
That is a 5-star.
That's a great review. I want that. If I had cheeky underwear, I know that would be my review. Ass fat.
Foreshadowing for later.
Sounds so strange out of context. Like, something's wrong with it. Yeah.
All right, Andrew, you ready?
Yes.
Tigger sucks himself off too much for my liking.
It's the bouncy tail. He really likes that.
Those in video are getting some great images of what Grace is doing. Join our
1
Patreon.
star? 1 star?
That is correct.
Okay. I've gotten a lot of 1-star reviews here. What? Nobody likes Winnie the Pooh.
Okay. Why did Piglet Gone Girl himself?
Oh, this is Piglet's big move for sure. And I think this person probably gave it a 1.
They gave it a 5.
Oh,
Weird,
really?
right? Yeah.
Okay, get outside your house. Eat a sandwich. I don't know. I don't trust that person. No.
Andrew, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Every character is giving off major non-binary vibes, and I'm living for it.
5 stars.
That
5
is
stars.
correct.
I can kind of see what they're talking about as well. It's
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Winnie the Pooh, everyone is sort of like genderless, sexless kind of thing going on,
I mean,
you know?
have you ever seen Pooh Bear's dick? No.
And I won't. But I'll say the most non-binary vibes I ever got, even like literally my whole life, was always Rabbit. Rabbit was always giving me like, because people would always say like him. They would use he, him pronouns. But I was like, but also like Rabbit gives me a lot of like femme like energy and like I hate the word, but girl boss. Like I think that like if anybody's really envy, I think it's Rabbit.
I'd argue Piglet. Piglet always gave me that vibe, but for Piglet. Same feels, different character.
Piglet's just Pan, and that's different.
Yeah, that's fair. No arguments. Bree, continue.
Okay.
Piglet's a child.
Right, sorry to sexualize a child, a sentient being.
Rue's a child. Piglet's just short.
It's just, their name's Piglet.
Okay. I'm going to give your mom 100-acre wood.
That's a real review.
That's a
Yes.
real review.
These are all
I didn't see
100%
it coming.
real.
I don't know why I didn't
I
see
just
it
want to
coming.
give that a 5-star, even though it might not be.
It is a
1.
1. It
Yeah,
is
it's
a 1. I'm
Your
going to give
face
you
told me.
giving you a point for it.
Game.
Why did I not see that coming? That was such an obvious joke.
Andrew, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Piglet would get eaten if the Winnie the Pooh universe was real.
It is real, and Piglet's still here, so 1 star. 1 star.
That is correct.
What is this, Lord of the
Andrew.
Flies? Why are they debating that? Weird.
Absolute garbage soy boy movie. Tigger Chad gang for life. What the? I don't know what
This
that
is
means.
Where do you find these fucking reviews?
This is insane.
Go
And
through
I-
Letterboxd, and I'm like, which one sounds the most unhinged?
But also, like, I'm going to say 1, and it's going to be a 5. And I'm going to be like, this is when I quit.
No, it is a 1.
Oh, thank God.
What movie are they talking about with that one? Do we know?
Probably the Tigger movie.
No,
Oh.
that was Piglet's big movie.
Piglet's
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Piglet's big movie. I could see why that would be a soy boy movie.
Okay.
Toy
yeah.
Boy movie, yeah, that makes sense.
All right, I think we get one more each, Bree.
Okay.
All right, Andrew, you got to picture me saying this line as Jason Lee. All right,
Okay.
as if everyone's a Tigger, then no one is.
5 stars. I'm gonna go with 5 stars.
That is a 1.
That's a 1. Everyone hates these fucking movies. What the hell?
Okay.
Why does everyone hate Winnie the Pooh? Everyone just wants to see Emmett Otter.
We can tie this up, Grace.
We can tie this up, really?
We can tie this up.
You
Okay.
could. I'm seeing the numbers. I see.
Ooh, I gotta pick a good one. Tigger is the Kramer of the Winnie the Pooh universe. I will not elaborate all. They spelled elaborate wrong.
Fun fact: this review was done by past guest of the show, Schaefer Illis.
Oh no.
I kind of see what he's talking about, actually.
Wait, repeat the first sentence? Or the first part?
Tigger is the Kramer of the Winnie the Pooh universe. I will not elaborate.
Oh,
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
My gut says 1, and I'm I'm gonna say 1.
Yes, it's a 1. We've tied. We're so good.
Hey! Celebrate
I can't
the
believe
tie.
Schaefer Illis gave a negative review of Winnie the Pooh.
Which one
That's
was
about
it?
right.
Which Winnie the Pooh?
That was the Tigger movie.
Wow.
On that note, how about we go into a mid-show and then talk about some of these songs?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt in the middle of the show, but we've got a shill at you. Today's show
Every
is brought
time.
to you by the extremely kind donations by our donors over at Patreon. Over at Patreon, you can get tons of fun perks such as Patreon-only commentaries, our episodes a day early, or even earlier video episodes of the show where you're gonna get a whole like video version of the show, and you can see Grace Aki's incredible face right now. And oh my God, she's doing backflips. Oh, I didn't know a body could bend that way. Grace, that's incredible.
You
She's
can do it
actually
now
dressed.
with cheekies.
And
She's actually dressed as Winnie the Pooh right now.
Yeah.
You have to
Just the
tune in to see
top.
though.
Just the red
It's
shirt.
just a red t-shirt, yeah.
And I mean, we're just taking her word on that since we can't see like below the shirt, but I'm willing to trust that. And I can just see right on the tip of her lips, she wants to say, join the Patreon. She just really wants to say it out loud into her microphone.
He always does this.
Join the Patreon.
She did it! I got it!
He can't even get me to say that, and he gets the guest to say it.
Yes. Speaking of which, Andrew, who's currently supporting us over at Patreon?
Oh boy, we've got a lot. Let's go through quick. Our current patrons are Melissa Goldman, Leighton Ackles, Danielle Renix, Justice Stampede, Ewan Cassidy, Monica Thoreau, Mina Maniri, Brent Black, Nathaniel Stacey Coombe, Joseph Evans Green, Carrie Ahern, Mary Lou Choquette, John Vanals, Russ Walker, Musical Hell, Emily Gracie, Kyle Summers, Janae C., Scoot in the Technicolor Dreamcoat, Liz Lim, Allison Stuller, Nothing is Certain Except Beth and Taxes, Thespian, Ren Cullen, Raphael Martinez Salas, Jessica T., Mitchell Young, Chai Teacup, oh boy, Katie McDonough, Timothy Keys, Chris Marcotte, Mimu, Kiji Marie Anastasio, Leela, RJ Nariga, Super Antelope, Charlie B, Patrick Deering, Avery Brinson, Bjorn Hermans, Joanna, or just Joanna, Joanna Oakley, Erica S, Toriana Frazier, Sammy the Most Lopez, Liana Morton, Angela, Kylie Blazier, Birdman69, Cinemageddon Reviews, Villainous Miss, Sophina Ali, The Omega Geek, Katrin Evans, Paige Pearson, Maddie Wargle, Jonathan, Ilana Riesnick, Rachel Bishop, pardon me, holy crap, why am I reading that as an N? Rachel Bishop, Eliza Erdman, and Anna Luskatova.
If you think about it, an H really is a yassified N. But these folks give us a little financial support over at Patreon, so why don't you come out and join us and get all those fucking fun perks? Also, we've got merch! Buy our fucking merch!
You have such good merch, and I'm a merch bitch. So I just want to say that when I endorse a merch, the merch is good, the merch is hot, the merch is fresh. And
Do you own any
should
of
be
our
buying.
merch?
No, I don't own any of the merch. I don't own my merch.
All
I
right,
can't
guys.
afford my merch.
She looks at the merch and she's like, this is good, not buying it though.
I will retweet.
And honestly,
though.
I understand that.
I'm a
I
retweet
kind of
bitch. I'll still
I kinda
support
get that.
it. I
Bree,
need
yeah.
some now. Now I'm
Our-
gonna have to go to the site. Anyways, continue. Let's
Grace,
keep going,
when you
but-
come to Broadway oh yeah, speaking of which, we will be at Broadway Con on July 9th at 1 p.m. somewhere at that convention hall. Probably in the smallest room with 0 people there, but come see us.
no windows,
No light.
no doors.
Yeah. No
Just-
water.
Just a full audience with only Grace Aki in the dead center. She could have set up in the front, but she sat dead center.
Oh, I'm busy right at 1, but otherwise I'll see you. Yeah. No.
Well, that's about right.
I'll be there the whole weekend. I've got a lot going on, but I'm so excited. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are like, I feel like parasocial, like people that we follow and creators and fellow theater lovers. And I'm just so excited for this opportunity
God,
for you.
I hope no one recognizes me.
You know, I went to the first Broadway con ever. Someone
Was
I
it hot?
knew was in it was crazy. I was in like the holding room with like the cast of Hamilton, and it was before they blew up and they were all just kind of hanging out. I'm about to do a panel, and I helped teach like a newsy workshop. And then I also hosted a panel with Anthony Rapp. And it's just I've been doing it like throughout the years, and this will be one of the first years that I'm kind of present a different way. So I'm so excited for you. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I can't wait to embarrass ourselves on a national level on a stage. It'll be great.
We've already embarrassed embarrass ourselves on a national level, we might as well do it on a stage.
Yeah, you're right. We embarrass ourselves once a week at this point. We might as well do it in front of a bunch of people and not have an ability to edit it.
Live audience. Ooh, no, there's an idea.
A live audience of Grace Aki and Grace Aki alone.
Just me asking questions.
All right.
She'll just be on her phone. She won't even be paying attention. She will just be like, "Oh, yeah. Hi, boys. Doing pretty rough
great.
up there." Let's get back to the show.
Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, chubby little cubby all stuffed with fluff. He's Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh, willy-nilly silly old bear.
So the opening song is just the opening song of the original Winnie the Pooh animation shorts.
Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh.
Yes, 10 out of 10, perfect song, absolutely incredible. But it also fades in, like the theme of the New Adventure of the Winnie the Pooh, which Grace has previously sung earlier in this episode, is used, but I don't think it's ever properly sung in the show.
Interesting.
So it's there.
I don't remember it ever being sung at the end. I just remember
I don't think it's at the end, no.
I remember just playing it like as a musical theme for Pooh when he comes around, because they sing the Winnie the Pooh whatever song, and then it's like Pooh doo 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 as he's just kind of waltzing around looking for bees. I will say, comparing that song, the Winnie the Pooh, New Adventure of Winnie the Pooh theme, what do you think of that in comparison to the Book of Pooh theme? Do you know that one, Grace?
Is that not the Winnie the Pooh?
No. The Book of Pooh
is that?
theme is a weirdly dark song for the puppeted version of Winnie the Pooh from the early aughts. And it has a very strange end song. Because I remember it's been analyzed as like contemplating death. Like, that is what the lyrics apparently are about.
What is this theme? I've never heard this before, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's called Goodbye for Now. It's a closing theme to the Book of Pooh, which was a puppet show version of Winnie the Pooh from, I want to say 2003. But it goes like this. Now is the time to close the book. Though we've just begun, it's true. We'll say goodbye until another day. Another day with new adventures on the way. They're on the way. So it's all about death and accepting that it's the end, but it's also the end of this episode of the Book of Pooh.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take it.
Play a little bit of it, Brie, because the only reason why it reads that way is because it sounds so somber. Like, it is such a sad ending.
Now's the time to close the book.
Though we've just begun, it's true.
We'll say goodbye until another day.
Another day with new adventures on the way.
They're on the way.
We're on our way,
So off we go. We won't be far. We'll be waiting here for you.
It kind of reminds me of the Bear in the Big Blue House ending.
So long. No, that's Out of the Box.
Oh my gosh, out of the box.
Goodbye, good friends, goodbye.
You just
That's the
unleashed
one.
an
Yeah.
entire, like, fucking thing from the back of my brain.
You
Like,
remember?
a synapse just went off that hadn't gone up in 30 years.
Do you follow the guy? You should follow the guy on TikTok, the guy who did Out of the Box, because he collabed with like the girl that used to do it, and they did like the whole goodnight song with his daughter. It was so cute.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute.
I'm a child.
So was that's some pretty intense Asian representation in Out of the Box, now that I think about it.
It was. I remember it so vividly because it was maybe the only woman that I saw like leading a show with a dude. And I was like, oh, so like you can host? Like you can be an Asian woman and like be a leading character? Because every time I would watch Barney or anything else, you were like a supporting kid or like just like there would be one Asian person. It was usually a boy or something. And I don't know. It's just, yeah, she was so front facing. There was a time when Disney was progressive. Can you believe?
Yeah, now they a person of color can't even show up on their station anymore without fucking everyone losing their minds.
Sad day.
Sad day.
Well, I'm so tired of woke Disney, if you ask me. They've really gone off the rails.
Boys,
the way that they
girls kissing, get out of here.
sexualizing children like that.
Speaking of that, did you see Tim Allen's incredible 10 out of 10 tweet from yesterday?
Where he
smelling
just
Coke
went
again?
He went to Disney with some kids.
Some kids that he took to Disney. And he like literally frames, I took some kids, not like a niece or a nephew or his own children.
Some kids.
Just some kids. And he heard like, oh, I'm attracted to a skillet. Does that make me pansexual?
Nobody said that.
No.
Nobody said that.
Tim Allen, you're full of shit. I wish you were selling Coke again.
And he thought it was hilarious. He thought that was the funniest thing anyone has ever thought of. So he had to tweet it and then make up a story about why he tweeted it.
You just thought of that joke and thought it was hilarious. So what do you think of the whoop-de-loop or bounce in the
This one is
Winnie the Pooh
great.
musical?
Except for that they can't get the puppets to jump. Other than that, it's pretty good.
Whoop-de-dooper, loop-de-looper, alley-ooper bounce. The whoop-de-dooper, loop-de-looper, alley-ooper bounce. It's got the zip that makes you flip, and that's what really counts. In the whoop-de-dooper, loop-de-looper, alley-ooper bounce.
It's hard for that actor to spit those words out. Like, already in that Tigger iconic voice, but then the whoop-de-whoop or bounce. It's like such an intense, like, I feel like you're giving your mouth a heart attack.
A mouth attack.
Yeah, but also he nails it.
He does.
Like everyone in the show fucking nails the task they were given, which is not.
I liked it. I liked when Rabbit comes and he does the whoop-de-dooper bounce as well.
That's so good.
And Pooh is just, he wants the honey so bad that he literally walks into the next season after this. It's very good.
He changes the tides simply for the hunger alone.
I do have a question for both of you as my wonderful friends. Could Winnie the Pooh work with a longer runtime? Because every Winnie the Pooh story is like 60 minutes. Even the most recent one that I still think is very good with Bobby and Kristen Anderson Lopez writing songs. It was still like 58 minutes. I don't think Winnie the Pooh should be more than an hour long.
You know, think of the ideal demographic for these stories. They're going to be children that are kind of, utilizing their motor skills. They're learning like basic, like, rudimentary life skills. So I think that if you were to extend this past an hour, those kids would kind of be aged out. Like you would need somebody that could stay longer, which is not the kids that this is aimed for. I mean, this is like 3 to 6 year olds. So I don't think that makes sense for who this is properly geared towards.
I agree. And also, short and sweet. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be more than an hour. You don't want to take a poo for more than an hour.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
And you also have like 15 minutes per season, which are like these little vignettes of plays. So it allows for there to be like a perfect beginning, middle, and end within like a 10-minute time period. It's really perfectly set for each character and also a kid's attention span. Because by the time they get to the next season, they're like kind of resetting because the lights change. And that for a lot of kids, especially like kids that have like, special needs and whatnot, like they need that moment to like have some downtime to not be totally enthralled and like totally invested in everybody.
I agree. So which is why it's a leading question that will lead me to transition into, have either of you seen the film Christopher Robin starring Ewan McGregor?
No.
I just got it confused for the Peter Rabbit movie. So I might have to reevaluate that, but I don't think I've seen it. I think I've just seen the Peter Rabbit movie and Paddington Bear, which I kind of combine.
Yeah. So that was 104 minutes about a grown-up Ewan McGregor grown-up Christopher Robin as played by Ewan McGregor, basically just being mean to Winnie the Pooh for 90 minutes and then being nice for 14 minutes.
So it's like Ted by Seth
really
MacFarlane.
is. I will say the designs of the characters are beautiful.
Yeah.
But the movie doesn't work because it's too fucking long. These characters cannot withstand a full narrative film.
Can I quickly tell you my Ewan McGregor story if I've never told you before?
I don't believe you've told me your Ewan McGregor story.
Okay. Just to sum it up, famously, I've told you I worked in high-end retail for a short time in my life. That means that I met people that it did not make sense for me to meat and fold cotton t-shirts for.
What I'm saying is I'm better than you, Jess.
What I'm saying is I made a lot of money and I should have kept it. So I worked in like this high-end retail store, and it was mainly known for like these LA like chic like t-shirt like basics, but like for rich people. And Ewan McGregor came in with what I think is his daughter. Looking back and also having seen her on Obi-Wan, I think that was her. That he came in.
Are you sure it's not his new wife?
No, I'm positive. This was like 5 years ago. Maybe not. Anyways, but he was so kind. And like, I was like, because everybody, anytime a celebrity would come in, would be like, defer to me because they would get freaked out. And I'm like, these are just normally actors, which are people. So chill, you know? And I was like, oh, hi, how can I help you? Like, what size do you wear? Because usually people come in, they already know the brand. And he goes, I'm pretty good. Da-da-da. And like in his like accent, I can't do it. And I got so fucking freaked out because I forgot he's Scottish. And like, I have always heard him in an English accent or an American accent, and it did not compute. And I was like, oh, he must be preparing for a role. I'll go along with it. And I was just so embarrassed. And he was one of the nicest, hottest people I've ever met in my life. And then afterwards he left, and I was just like, I felt a chill come over my body. And then I remembered he was Scottish, and I was like, that was him being himself. And I should chill.
That was beautiful, Grace.
Thank you.
I loved Ewan McGregor so much. I really, really did. Until he cheated on his wife with a woman half her age, the mother of his children.
It's not a news story.
Don't love it, though.
Don't love it.
Wish that didn't happen.
Could have been me. Could have been me, guys.
Grace,
you
could have been a Mary Elizabeth Winstead. You could have been that.
Could have been a lot of things. Anyways.
Bree, you could have been a Mary Elizabeth Winstead, too. You give me that vibe. That's just an unrelated statement. On that note, what is everyone's overall thoughts on Winnie the Pooh, the musical adaptation, and their cheese ratings? Grace, why don't you go first? Because you're awesome.
Wow, thank you so much for letting me start this. I think that we need more shows like this, I think was my overall feeling. As soon as I finished the show, I thought, what a lovely, palatable 10:45 a.m. I've just had. I think that there are so many times where we could engage young people with the theater that often get overlooked for being too costly, for the analysis of like when you can sell it, how many seats you can sell, COVID, like all these factors, right? And because Disney has the money and they had partnered with this great, company in Britain, like they figured it out and they were able to create and cultivate this gorgeous little show for not only young people, but the adults to take them to. I think that that's the biggest thing. When we think about young adult theater, young adult and children's theater, we often don't think about the fact that who's taking them to those shows are adults. And I think that if we can enjoy ourselves and then a child can enjoy themselves and we can all learn together and experience art, they're more likely to become art supporters when they're older. I think about all the times that I was at the Nutcracker as a young child and like talking it through. And then I was like, I want to dance and all those things because I was experiencing and by the way, it was probably like community theater, which nothing to shade your hat at, but like, I learned from that and it made me want to be involved. And so the more I think we can see these hour-long shows of popular properties, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if you did, like you said, Emmett Otter obviously was the highlight of that review. The more we can do that, the more we can engage young people and the more likely they are to say, oh, I want to be a puppet. Like, I want to be a puppeteer. I want to be a singer. I want to do voices. And that's how you cultivate the next iteration. But the more we have digital media, the more we have Disney Plus, that gets a lot harder because that's a lot less expensive to take your child to is your living room. Yeah. And so the more accessibility that you have with shows like this, I think that the better it is. And I thought it was a really well done piece of art. So I give it, I give it an American cheese because you can put it on anything and every kid likes it cut up. They like it cut up. They like it on top of their little hamburger. It's an American slice of cheese. That's what I want to say. 10
out of 10. Grace, you as always are wonderful. One of our best guests. I am always so grateful to have you.
1 of 5 or whatever. top
of
5.
Well, obviously, you keep getting invited back.
Thank you.
Andrew, what's your cheese rating and overall thoughts?
It's Winnie the Pooh. I mean, I feel like they nailed it. That's all there really is to it. It's short and sweet, and they did not mess it up. It's Winnie the Pooh. Not really much more to say, I don't think. I'm gonna give it Gorgonzola because that apparently pairs well with honey. So
that's a great choice. All right, Bree, what do you think of our conversation, and what is your opinion on cheeky underwear?
Well, the conversation has been one of my favorite in a very long time. Well, I guess not very long, but
we've done terrible episodes is what you're saying.
Yeah, really, Grace it should just be, musicals with Grace and some cheese or something like that.
Yeah, me and Andrew don't even show up on the show anymore.
She's the star.
Maybe you and Grace should just go on some dates or something.
Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, we could. You know, I was just in New York. I should have stopped by.
You should.
Oh, that's
Sorry.
such a bummer. Well, I hope you had a beautiful time.
She
I
saw
did.
Beetlejuice.
I did see Beetlejuice.
Shut up. When
Yeah.
did you see it?
I saw it on a Sunday, June 5th.
Oh, so you saw it recently.
Oh,
You
yeah.
might have seen my friend. I mean, you saw my guy, Alex, but you might have seen Andrew Kober
Maybe.
on because he's been on his swing. So I'm sure you had a great time. It's
It
great
was
in that space,
fantastic.
isn't it?
Yes, it was wonderful.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give this a honey goat cheese, which is a cheese I think I've given before, but it only makes sense for these circumstances. And then if I am talking about cheeky underwear and I have to rate that as a cheese.
You can just say what your opinions are on it.
Oh, well, I would like to give it a cheese.
Okay.
Cheeky underwear, you know, I bought them for a long time, but recently, as I've gotten older, I don't like them. I like being comfortable. I don't like wedgies. I don't like...
Why did you buy them for a long time?
Because I liked them. At least I thought I did.
Okay.
Yeah, they're definitely marketed to us. That's no question. They're like, oh, 5 for $35 or whatever at American Eagle, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. And like, I mean, the ass does look good in a pair of cheeksters. I'm not gonna lie, but are they comfortable? No, they're not. And if I was gonna give them a cheese, it would be a bad one. But I can't think of a bad cheese right now.
There are no bad cheeses.
Can I say
that's the
what
problem.
I think would be a perfect complement cheese to what you just said
What?
is a Swiss cheese because it's missing so many parts of the cheese.
That's perfect. Perfect. Swiss cheese for cheeky underwear, cheeksters. Don't like them.
great.
All right, Andrew, did I ask you yet? What are your opinions on cheeky underwear?
I don't really know. I've never worn them. I don't like underwear riding up my ass, though. So I assume I wouldn't like them.
You know what? That's a good assumption. You know what, Andrew? You and I, next time Grace is on, we need to have a cheeky episode where we all like put on the cheekies. By all, I mean you and me, Andrew, and we have to give our honest opinion on it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a bonus Patreon exclusive.
I think I'm sick that day, sadly.
I'm calling out of work.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll bring Brent in that day.
Oh, Brent would do it. Brent would do it 100%.
He would. Yeah, he would be too into it.
Brent already owns the cheekies.
Yeah, he wouldn't have to go find them. They're in his drawer.
He's like, which color?
That's all he wears.
Did you want to see him? Like, ugh.
He's like the 1% that's like, you know what? I prefer these.
Ass out.
Well, Jess, what did you think of Winnie the Pooh?
I thought it was a good time, and it justified its existence, which I don't think a lot of Disney Broadway shows do.
Ooh.
I know
I agree.
Grace's wonderful partner is playing Olaf, but
Oh my gosh.
that musical doesn't exactly add much to
No.
Frozen that didn't already exist in its original form.
And it should be edited. No question. No question.
Why is
Yeah.
Let It Go put at the end of Act 1? It does not structurally fit there.
Because so is Defying Gravity. You could literally make that argument for any big 11 o'clock number for any protagonist female in a belter show like that. Honestly. It's a very similar structured thing because I agree with you. It's because they're waiting, just like they wait to hear, to see Olaf come out 45 minutes into the show, which is insane. Then they want the kids to hang on for dear life to hear Let It Go right then because they've made the show 2.5 hours. We could really talk about it.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you and your partner come on for the Frozen episode whenever that happens?
Okay.
And we'll
all meet in
I feel like we
Columbus,
already
Ohio.
covered Frozen. Did we cover Frozen as a theme park show?
Yeah, we did, but we didn't cover the
with the
real stage show.
Hyperion?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
We covered
No.
that. Where Olaf, literally, his head is right where the dick is, so it looks like the nose is a penis. Stop playing with a penis on our stream. Either way, I am giving this some gooey nacho cheese, but spread by these incredible Winnie the Pooh cheese spreaders that I am now going to show all of you people. Like, honestly, this is kind of, I don't like the way these look.
Oh, I want them. No, they're cute.
Yeah,
Like,
they're
I like
very cute.
Tigger. I like Pooh. Eeyore looks real sad.
But
Eeyore
Pooh
always
holding
looks
that
sad. That's
daisy
his
is cute.
thing.
I don't know. I wouldn't like holding them and having their butts spread my cheese.
You're really gonna complain that Eeyore looks sad?
I'm not saying he looks sad as a character. I'm saying he looks sad as if they didn't put much effort into him.
Okay, this is getting really ableist, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a really bad look,
We
Jess.
all have cheese spreaders coming out of our ass. That's why we buy cheeky underwear to cover it up. On that note, Grace, promote your wonderful content for everyone to find.
You're so sweet.
I like how Bree's just looking at you like she's in love. Like, literally, that's what the eyes are like, man.
I am, okay? I am.
Bree, have you ever told Grace that the first episode of the show you ever listened to was her episode on Waitress?
Oh, it was. Yes, it was.
What a special time. That's
it was
so
fantastic.
Nice. God, that was 2 years ago.
Well, God, yeah, that was 2 years ago.
Bree, you've almost done more episodes of the show than you haven't. I think this will be episode 199. Literally, next week will be our 100th, our 200th.
What is the topic?
Can we say it? Or should we leave anticipation? It'll be The Sound of Music.
That's a big deal. It's a really big deal.
Yeah. And we will also, for 201, be celebrating Bree's 100th episode and a lot of other things. And Grace has helped us with a lot of those things. We won't spoil that here, but Grace, promote your stuff.
Your face. Okay, so on that note, that was beautiful, Bree. So famously, I have too much going on, and I like to wear a lot of hats because I have a lot of unresolved issues. And
multi-hyphenate.
Multi-hyphenate is the colloquial version of what I just said. And I have a podcast called Tell Me on a Sunday, which will have new episodes coming out. I feel like I say that every time I'm on the show, but I actually mean it this time. And I do. I'm really excited about it because also I'm promoting a solo show that has so generously been reviewed on Musicals with Cheese before, called To Free a Mockingbird, which will debut at the SheNYC Festival at the Connolly Theater this summer, July 27th and 29th. You can find information about that in my link in bio on all of my social media platforms at It's Grace Aki. You can aggressively stalk me there. Sometimes I'm on a lot. Sometimes I'm on a lot. So you can find me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans if you're nasty. I wish.
You'd make a lot of money.
I tried so hard to set it up, Jess, and I'm telling you, it was so exhausting. I got so confused. And honestly, Brie, we should just sell our cheekies because I don't know what to do. But
you don't even have to wear them. You can just say that you wore them and buy them.
No. They like it when you wear them.
Well, how will they know? You could just tell them that you did.
Just
they will know.
What?
They will
know.
They know.
It's a whole separate thing.
I'll wear them, on your behalf.
They'll know.
Well, no. So yeah, I guess that's my podcast, Tell Me on a Sunday, my solo show, To Free a Mockingbird, which I'm so excited about this iteration of. And then you can also find my illustrated work. I love to freelance artist work in the interim because I think that's, if we can't express ourselves, I don't know what we're doing. And that's what you all do so well with how you create this podcast, that I like to do that on a visual format. And so I have an Etsy store and an Instagram for that called Grace Aki Made It. And I have painted Jess's face a number of times at this point. That's where you can find a lot of my still imagery for films and theater shows. I'm actually uploading 20 pieces of art to my Etsy store tonight. So, because I just did my first art gallery showing in New York. So I've been a busy beaver and I'm trying to distract from all the badness in the world. But I want to thank you all always for allowing me to not only promote myself, but also voice my opinions on these things. It's always an honor to be on your show. I've loved it ever since I started coming on 2 years ago. So I feel like I have this beautiful relationship with you all, and we've never met in person, but one day we will.
Broadway Con, we will.
Broadway Con.
If you don't have your tickets already, go get your tickets now. Grace Aki will be performing at Broadway Con. And also, she will be in the audience for the Musicals with Cheese live show. She will be the one audience member for the Musicals with Cheese live show over at Broadway Con.
One seat over from me in a mask.
Yeah. In fact, you know what? Maybe Grace won't show up now. Now that you promoted that, she doesn't want one other person there. Grace, you are honestly the joy of joys to have on. You wouldn't have been on as much if we didn't absolutely adore you. I hope that we show that in every way, and you'll enjoy whatever cheese plate or whatever we give you. You will get rewarded. Welcome to the 5 Timers Club. You have earned it because you are fucking awesome.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
5 times. Get her that cheese.
What are they, by the way? Sorry, I'm just so curious. What have we talked about?
Okay, so first episode, Waitress, of course. Second episode, I believe it was Spring Awakening.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Now I gotta look. Fuck.
That might have been the third. No, because
there was one in between. Yeah. What was it? There was one in between. Spring Awakening, and Waitress. God fucking damn it. What the fuck
Right.
was it?
Sorry, I'm taking the time out. I just gotta know.
I gotta
wanna
know.
promote my episodes.
I know you were on Annette, which was a really quick turnaround.
Baby Annette was a very big deal for us that summer.
You are still Baby Annette as far as I'm concerned.
I want that to be my calling card, like my Broadway debut, my pronouns, and then parentheses Baby Annette.
Oh my God, this is going to bother me so much. So now I have to go to our fucking website.
Damn it. I'm sorry.
No worries. I should know this, but I know it's number 5 because I had it.
It's going to be like Peter Pan Live or something.
No,
like it's gonna be something.
It was something. Fuck. Oh, I remember it. It was a bonus episode on the top 10 romantic comedies.
That's right.
And then you
rom-coms.
Technically, this is your 6th, but I'm not counting this because this was kind of fun. It was the Assassin's Cast recording was another one, but then we did Annette. So this is number 5 as far as official episodes because the top 10 rom-coms was technically a Patreon thing that you did it as a favor. But that was it. There you go.
I love that. Okay, great. Well, then there you go. Those are the episodes that obviously we love to see.
We're all great. They were all fantastic, I'm sure.
Yes. Honestly, you are top tier. No one can compare to you. No one brings what you bring to this, to be honest. Chutzpah and genuine care. And you know what? Who else brings chutzpah every week, Andrew?
You?
Our wonderful patrons. Thank you guys for listening. Please follow us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Musicals with Cheese. We're on Twitter at Cheesy Musicals. We're on Patreon Musicals with Cheese, Instagram Musicals with Cheese, YouTube page Musicals with Cheese. We have a patron-only podcast called Patreon with Cheese. We're covering the Tangled TV series over there, so go check it out. Email us at musicaltheaterlives@gmail.com. Our keeper of the cheese is Juliet Antonio. We love you, Juliet. You are the fucking tits. Grace, tell Juliet they're awesome.
Juliet, you are so freaking fantastic, and I'm obsessed with the fact that every time I get on TikTok, your FYP comes up on my FYP, and I'm just like, I don't know what they're doing, but I'm kind of into it.
It's kind of kinky, right?
It's very kinky, and it's the only side of TikTok that you exist on for me, and I'm thrilled by it. So thank you, and I love you.
It does, because I not to put you on blast, Juliet. I don't want to put your info out there, but I will because, yay, you're my friend. You do our cheese. And then I will get the wackest fucking TikToks in my FYP because of the hashtags you put in there. And I'm like,
it's a problem.
Well, then I got to explain it to my girlfriend where it's like, this is not, I can... and I become a Jerry Lewis character. This show is produced by the incredible, the wonderful, the beautiful, one of my best friends in the entire whole goddamn world. It's Brianna Jones.
God dang, where's this energy coming from? It's
the Good Morning Vietnam of intros.
For real.
Thank you to the Broadway Podcast Network for having us on the platform and for not kicking us off for, tearing down the big cheeky industry. How the fuck are you going to edit this episode, Brie? All right, you guys. Anything else we have left to say? Deep in the 100-acre woods where Christopher Robin plays. Winnie the Pooh.
Most of all, Winnie the Pooh.
Grace, take it away.
That's it.
Okay. We'll see you next time on Musicals with Cheese. And then we will play our cheeky conversation for context. Grace, while I've got you here and while we have you on the record, what are your opinion on cheeky underwear? You're a fan of them, right? They're like your favorite underwear.
I can't believe you're even bringing this up in this kind professional setting. I will never have the bottom part of my ass hanging out of a panty in my life ever again. Cheeky underwear is the patriarchy. I will die on this hill. It's not a thong. A thong was built to make sure that you don't have a panty line. I don't think that's the patriarchy. I think it's the cheeky underwear. I think they've been lying to us this whole time. Victoria's Secret was started by a man, and I'm sick of this. Like, don't have, there's a little bit of part of my cheeks. Guess what happens when you put on anything else? It's the worst feeling.
You get a wedgie.
I want my full butt covered. Like, I want it to feel safe, like you just said, thank you, Brie. Like, literally, yep. I just want it to couple it. And then also in the front, I'm sorry, on a cheeky underwear, because I have a full ass, the middle part does this whole like, what if I was like a little tank top for your business? And I'm just like, no.
They're
I want
horrible.
my fupa covered. I want it all to
sit.
It's really I just want to become an underwear designer because I'm like, there's just no way that my 4'10" ass is spilling out of some underwear right now. I don't understand. So something's going on. I'm
Just buy some boxer shorts
or something. I actually do. I do.
I only brought this up because she tweets about it like once a week.
Well, she's right.
Thanks. Okay. I don't think I'm insane. I'm like, I cannot be alone here.
No.
Andrew, what are your opinions on Cheeky's underwear?
Cheeky's underwear? This is like a brand?
It's a cut
You
of
just
an
mean-
underwear.
All right. Now I gotta.
I don't think I've ever worn anything like
Okay.
that.
Cheeky's
I don't think men
underwear.
have that type of thing.
I think like cheekies or cheeksters, you know, whatever. Cheeksters.
I honestly just buy
You wear boxer briefs?
briefs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the man's, like, this is
there it
what
is.
Cheeky's underwear. Like, it
Why
doesn't
would I-
cover your whole ass. It just kind of rides up your ass.
Listen,
like, I didn't get it.
The audacity for them to put a lace
Yeah.
bottom right
I'm
there.
just imagining the like skid marks you must be getting from this like
Yeah,
at all
it
times.
rides up and you're like, this isn't healthy. But also, the reason the cheekies are alive, the reason this even started is because they pretend to be a full bottom a lot of times. So like
done
they
that.
will advertise themselves as a full panty and it's a cheeky. And I'm like, no. That's my bottom you're hanging out, mister. That's
that a
not
cheeky?
See, that's what they're going to call a full bottom and I'm going to put it on and it becomes a cheeky.
Mm-hmm.
Because that person doesn't have a butt. That person is standing funny.
So,
Sure.
wait. Cheeky underwear on men.
Oh, let's see.
Show me the booty. There it is.
There it is. See? No
Yeah.
one wants that. No one wants that feeling.
No, it's uncomfortable. You get a wedgie. You
That
get.
person's not a human. That's not a human's body. That was created on the internet. Something was sitting wrong. You see that? There's some discoloration. No, that's fake.